Hello, everyone. This is Suzanne Wagner once again, and we are doing the numerology and the astrology for September 28th, 2020. If you add all those numbers together, you get the number 24, and if you add the 2 and the 4 together, you get the number 6. The number 6 is the number of spirituality, mysticism, being in a scholarly way with theology and sacred truths. It is quiet, it is pensive, it is internal, it is kind hearted, it is unconditionally loving, and it's a beautiful number to have. I always love it when I get into a 6th day because it means that I need to contemplate and I need to be quiet and I need to seek the peace that is inside of me first and foremost before I seek the peace outside of myself. So, listen. Can you hear the heartbeat of a world struggling for peace? The number 6 cycles around every few days to remind us of what we know is important, that subtle but profound connection that every living thing has to this planet, this place and time, and each other. This number cycles in because of our childish ways. We forget the importance of connection and communion. We forget the power and the healing ability of nature and silence. We easily lose the self-discipline to sit and wait for the right total body feeling before we move. We forget to listen to the promptings of our own heart over our head. So today, stop and listen to that inner voice that can give you the deeper insight and knowing that you have been seeking. In the silence, you will find your place in this world, your purpose, and the meaning of this moment in time, and how it relates to your growth that will be essential for your soul's evolution through time. You are old and ancient. You are wise and wonderful. You occasionally forget what you think is not really real. Then you let the ego take over and continue to take more and more power until the knowing, the soul knowing, and the connection is suppressed to the point that you forget who you are and your special place in this world. It takes these moments to strip the ego down and get back to what is really important. The astrology today. On Tuesday, Saturn stops going retrograde and decides to change course, but you will feel the weight of a heavy burden on your shoulders as all the pieces that are not yet finished come forward and into your reality. Just take one step at a time. Your responsibilities are yours and yours alone. Your limitations may seem to block you at every turn. There seem to be lines in the sand everywhere. You are tippy-toeing through a minefield of the beliefs of others. But you should be careful because you are playing a dangerous game of hopscotch. But the rules seem a bit sketchy, like you are designed to fail no matter which way you go. Regardless, you have to move forward. There are no guarantees in life. You and your reality are at risk. That is the way of things in this reality. Notice the tension and keep moving forward, one small step at a time. Don't push your agenda on others. They will be grumpy and out of sorts for the next few months. Regardless of what you think and want, you cannot control people under this impatient Mars as it challenges Saturn. One wants it right now. That would be Mars. And the other one wants to look at the long-term goals and plans. That would be Saturn. While you have felt blocked for a while now, know that the tide is turning because you are going to move forward with the stars. But to move forward, expect to encounter continued blocks. There is no smooth sailing going forward. Your motivation is impeded by a lack of energy. Know that you are going to get disapproval, and that is intended to create a lack of confidence. Be patient. Laugh at the shallow attempts of others to break your spirit. While there are limits, you can make conscious adjustments to speed and tempo. After all, you are in a storm. No wise sailor has the sails up in a storm so that they can get through the storm faster. That would just sink the boat. Impatience is a sign of immaturity. The Sun and Chiron oppose, and so I suggest to not respond at all to those trying to use confrontation as a means of shaking your resolve. Everyone has already decided what is important to them, and no one is going to change their mind at this stage of the game. Guess what? You have to have faith in the process. You have to notice what you have learned. I've learned how strong my moral fortitude is. I've learned that I always choose to do what is right over any pressure tactics or manipulations of others. I have learned how many people are hiding their own racism and bigotry behind the face of a madman. It is shocking to realize how gullible humanity is and how blind they will be to protect their own damage. If you find yourself in reaction to this crazy world, that means that you are still learning to step back and away from drama and into a more objective and mature mind. Take a breath, step back, and let the world sort itself out. Trust the process. There's more happening than you can presently perceive. Okay, my quote for today. The sun is shining, the lizards are climbing, the air warms in one final push of summer before life, before the change. And the change is coming, the footsteps are drumming, and we watch again as this world pushes itself to the brink of an end. My blog for today. It is important to remember in these times that within each person is a sinner and a saint. History has shown us example after endless example of good people doing terrible and horrific things because they believe what they are told, or they were only doing what the law required them to do. All groups of power and control have fallen victim to this phenomena in the earthly plane. It matters not if it's a religion, a government, or a combination thereof. There are always good people in both and bad people in every group. The one that controls you is the one that you feed, internally and externally. That is why I learned from a young age to never, ever give my sovereignty away to anyone for any reason. While I believe that all men and women have equal potential, that does not mean that they are all on an equal level of evolved awareness. Extensive knowledge and academic skills do not impress me because it is meaningless if that person makes choices that clearly cause harm. There is no way any person can justify defending any person who puts children in cages and separates them from their families for any reason. It is a form of modern slavery and torture and stains the reputation of anyone who agrees, condones, or allows such actions to continue. There is no reason that anyone can use that justifies separating one group from another and labeling them as inferior. It is so absurd to my mind that I do not even live in such a dystopia or a mindset. It is illogical beyond belief. It shows a person's ignorance and lack of reasoning ability. Most of the greatest inventions in the world were not done by Caucasians. Most of the greatest poetry, art, music, and literature was not created by just one small group. Most of the science and math were created by those in the Middle East and China. To allude to anything else is so false and such an absurd lie that I have to laugh at the simple mind that can adhere to such a distortion, because it shows a soul that has nothing to compare to other than their immediate environment. Do not dishonor the great gift you have been given of a human life by needing some grandiose belief that you are superior because you associate with tyrants. Power does not always translate into productive applications that support the people. More often than not, those that seek the power are weak. That is why they need so much attention, adoration, and acclaim. Such people do not interest me. I place no value in the sheer accumulation of power. If you have a kind heart, I find you interesting. If you stand up for those that cannot protect themselves, you have my respect. If you live a life based on compassion and kindness, I will support you to the end of days. I give none of those deeply personal qualities randomly or easily. I hope you guys have a great day.